Hey everybody, welcome to the video. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike. Today, we are working on the chicken coop slash goat barn. I'll get you caught up to speed real quick. This is the chicken coop slash goat barn that we're building. Well, I got that out of the way. You guys are quick learners. We've got this today. The project, the goal today, take the old chicken run, which is here, and we're going to use a lot of these old components for the new modified chicken run on that end of the barn. We're going to take down some of these trees, and we're going to answer a bunch of questions, or a couple questions you guys have been asking about the project. I think by the end of the video, a lot of this will all kind of make sense and see how it all gets tied together. So step one is going to be dismantling the old coop, and we'll kind of talk about some things we like and don't like about this setup. Look, we've got them an old slide. They just love this. They just have a blast on it. Are we going to be a problem today? There's potential. I know you're definitely going to be a problem, aren't you? There's Mama in there being broody. We have several different types of fencing and netting on this to keep out the predators in our area. We've got the chain link, which was an old dog kennel. That was gifted to us by our Uncle Gary. And it works really well for, larger predators like coyotes and things getting in. But then on the lower half, we've got actual chicken wire because we've got bobcats in our area, and the bobcats will reach through and try to grab the hens or the chickens as they rest up against the fence. So we've got that on the bottom half. And then we've got, this is bird netting that goes all the way over the top, because the possums will try to climb in and get them. The foxes will climb too. And then that goes through all of it. So there's quite a bit of protection. And then of course, we've got all the rocks around the bottom for stuff digging up underneath. We're still waiting on one part to get the tractor back together. So we're doing it the old fashioned way today. That's just gonna make us appreciate the tractor that much more when we get it back. So whenever we did this, we put a bunch of concrete in, some small rocks, and that concrete is all mixed in with that chicken wire there. See that? We'll get this side next. So we've got the rocks off around 3 sides. We're going to go ahead and start taking that chicken wire off the bottom section now. Before we get that off the rest of the way, we've got to take this old nesting box off. This is an old electric spool, you can see that. Scrap shingles for the roof, some scrap metal on the back side to kind of sealed up. Same there. These lasted us about 4 years, but you can see, it's just untreated cheap wood for an electrical spool. So. The next thing we're going to try to get is all this bird netting off. We've just got a bunch of, zip ties up around the top and then zip tied around the bottom. We are going to try to salvage this to stretch over the new one. So. go, if you want to start working out on top of it, I'll go on the inside and work it on top of it. So we have the poultry netting staged kind of right in this area. It was not at the time, but is currently around $140 to replace that. So obviously we're gonna try to reuse it. Now we can start taking these fence panels, bring them down here and running them out just as soon as we get this cleaned up. Beautiful. Let's start putting some panels in. So we gotta try to slide this away from the fence, but there's a chicken being a little broody in there sitting on some eggs. We're gonna take those two panels first. See if we can't gently slide her over without upsetting her too much.
She's not going anywhere. What a good mama. What a good mama bear. You good? Oh God. Oh.
Bowling for barns. I don't think it will it? I think it'll fall apart. All right, here we go. Ow. God dang, what the heck's are those? They bite. I'm burning you for sure. There you go. Oh God. Oh no.
Nice aim.
We about had to call Gary and give him a heads up. So this is where our water comes in for our water barrel underneath. This comes from a downspout, and then if the downspouts don't keep up, we've got a way to fill it with the hose. But it goes through the chain link here, so just gotta trim some of this up. And that's the cable for the, I was gonna say TV for fun, but that's the cable for the heater in the water tank to keep her from freezing on us. It kinda keeps up. You guys on? You're on. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. See if we can slide this little roosting box out of the way. I don't know how heavy this is. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. How you plan on getting that down to the other barn, Mike? Probably a whole lot of hindsight would be my guess. A whole lot of hindsight. Probably be how we get it down there. You know, I bet a fella could do pretty easy. Put some boards down, just slide her on some boards. Easy is relative at this point in the conversation, but I bet I could. I bet a fella could. I got some boards down there. Let's give it a go. Okay. Okay. If you're wondering about these holes, there's a plan. Don't worry. The next step is go ahead and get these panels attached. We're not doing anything fancy. I just got little clips here. Yeah, there go a screw from there to here. Now, whenever we put the sliding door on this side, if you're new to the channel, that side's already got it done. Well, it's done minus the actual sliding part, but this will be a sliding door that slides all the way open across there. So in the future, we might have to come back and unhook these brackets and slide the fence down just a little bit. That's not a big deal. We're not too worried about that. The main thing is we get this all attached and we get the whole operation. So in the future, we may just have to back a couple screws out and just gap that fence enough to where that door will close, to where we get it on a good spot, because remember there's going to be some corner pieces that go here too. But that's not too big of a deal. The main goal is to get this whole operation moved down here so we can start the dirt work up there while we're waiting on money for up there. So on the backside where I'd cut those holes in the chain link for the prior run, I wanted to get those patched up. Now I'd seen online where people take a section of that chain link out and they kind of weave it back in to make it look like it was never there. So I figured I'd try that real quick. On the first side, it was pretty easy. Obviously, I didn't have any slack I had to pull out of it. On that side, I did struggle just a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. Ended up using a ratchet strap to kind of pull the tension together. Kind of helped me weave that piece back up through there. Now when it was all said and done, I think it turned out pretty good. And I was pretty happy with it for the first time doing it that way. And you can kind of see it blends right in. It's like it was never there. The only spot is kind of up there at the top where it meets together. But on the other side, this is where that old nesting box that we made out of electric spool was tied in. I decided it wasn't really worth the effort, and I just did the good old-fashioned zip tie job. And that should be fine. We're going to take the poultry netting that we tried to save off there and get it stretched across the top. So we're getting this netting stretched across here. We're going to put a rope here in the middle that goes up a little higher on the gable to kind of help support the middle of the netting. Just got a little eye bolt. We're going to use an old spring I've got off an old trampoline. Let's see if we can't figure this out real quick. This is just like a 1/4 inch marine rope. It's nothing crazy, just something that'll hopefully give us a few years. And then we'll take, guess we can put over this end of the spring. And then we'll just stretch it. There. Which holds are pretty tight already. And then we'll run that nut in, pull it back even more. That's got it pretty good, supporting that net up there. Now, if it ever loosens up, we still have quite a bit of thread left on that. We can pull it in even more. This was holding it for me, so that didn't turn. It was catching on that. Thanks, buddy. So we're gonna see if we can't splice this piece of scrap net with what we've already got up there, so it'll actually reach all the way up to the gable for those critters that crawl over. So we got it kind of spliced together, and we're just gonna staple it up to the barn using these. Best way I know to drive staples, a pair of needle nose, hold them, and hit them with a hammer. Saves your fingers. Getting a lot of that.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday. It's not my birthday, but if it was, it would be a good one.
And I have a gazoo. It's kind of broken.
Where'd you get that from? I need you to scoot that way so I don't hit you with the hammer if I drop it.
Because they gave us kazoos.
Well, that was pretty awesome of them. You know, part of me wants to say, if you're a teacher, please don't send your kid home with a kazoo. But the other part of me knows what my child is like and knows that you put up with them all year. So maybe the kazoo is, maybe that's fair, you know? Maybe that's fair. So I think that looks pretty good. You can walk underneath it, no problem. Keeps it plenty high. Still a little messy along the edge, but you gotta keep in mind, there's still gonna be hardware for the sliding door, so I'll have to clean that up a little bit. And there'll be soffit right here. So we'll be able to clean that up whenever we get into the details of the roof line in that door. And there are batten strips still to go up, but I nailed the middle of the board, so we should be able to slide our batten strips up kind of behind that netting. We still got some more cleanup work to do when we get to that part of the project, but as far as keeping them safe and keeping them in here for now, that should do the trick. The next step is we're gonna take some new chicken wire we got, and this is our anti-digging row. It'll come up to about here and the rest will kind of lay out. That'll keep critters from digging underneath. Here, poke it out. Poke it back out right there. There you go.
Why didn't you break them? Why did you break that one?
I don't know why that one broke.
Bye.
Bye. Well, it's good to see you. Talk to you later. Down here on the corner, we'll just have to cut it so it lays flat for us. Like that. We're gonna put this multi-use netting, but there's pictures of chickens, oh, and rabbits. That's the multi-use part. We're gonna put this, we're gonna start at the top and work our way down. That'll take care of these kinds of gaps, and these gaps in the corner, and these gaps like this. good mama.
Look at that bird. Are you kidding me?
Found a bird.
Here, put it in there and then I'll put it.
You gonna be the gatekeeper?
Do it now, Dad.
Look.
Come here, baby.
Go, Dad. Go, you can.
Okay.
I caught a chicken.
Good.
All right, to the door.
Chicken. Shutter. Good job.
Poor Mango. Probably gave him a hard time to kill him. Good boy.
Look at this big pretty boy. Pretty boy.
I got another one. Home sweet home. What's gonna go there?
No, we're getting rid of all that dirt.
I feel like we missed one.
Following day, chickens all survived the night. I just got done working for Dirt Perfect. It's about 2 o'clock-ish, and I picked up some hindsight while I was there. Thought it might come in handy. The next step, we're gonna move the water barrel down there. This is probably one of the things we did the most right. It's just a food grade water barrel. This one had like a fruit punch syrup in it when we first got it. And they got these little water cups. They peck at the little yellow thing there, and you've got some water. The only issue we have with it is after a while they kind of peck and it slowly turns its way out and goes sideways like that. But I bet if a fella maybe took a little PVC glue and put it on those threads whenever you thread it in, maybe they'd keep it from doing that. But it's worked really well. We haven't had any major issues on it. What I really love about it is typical waters, like little plastic jugs with a red base. They always fall over, they always get dirty, they always get stuff in them. This one's just been super easy to maintain, and our gutters have kept up with this. I don't think we've ever had to put a garden hose in here. And if you need to clean the cups, which we do from time to time, you don't have to take, oh dear, you don't have to take the whole thing off. You can see there's a little plastic notch there. It's hard to do one-handed, but the cup just, there you go. The cup just twists off, and you can take the cup, clean the cup. Look, those need to be cleaned anyway. Keep them all in good shape. Works really well. We're gonna drain it just so it's lighter, obviously, and then we'll fill it up when we get it down there. So while that drains, I'll go ahead and zip tie it. This is just a little cheapy, inexpensive solar power light. We just put right here at the gate. It's just more for us than it is the chickens, so we can kind of lights up where we walk at night. And then we have a not so cheapy solar light. This thing's about $100, which it just breaks me to pay that much for a light. But if you think about, by the time you buy a non-solar and you buy the wire and you buy the conduit to run it up this old oak telephone pole behind me, you're still probably gonna be around the same. And this just certainly has an added level of convenience. We've already got one of these on the property. It stays dim until it detects motion and then pretty much turns it into daylight. I do absolutely love it. So we're gonna get this up next. There we go. This slides over it. And then it's just got these 4 10mm right here. Boom. And you can, just because of the way this is, you can kind of bend that metal right here, depending on how you want it. I'll just leave it like that at an angle, not gonna hurt anything. We'll probably bend it just a little bit so it can catch a little more sun. There we go, like that maybe. Ooh, there you go. Beautiful. I mean, look how, what is this, New York? I mean, come on, the lights? And by carry it, I mean just roll. It's round. And these are just some 6x6 cradles we made for the barrel. We're just gonna set it right here for now. Whenever it's all said and done, the barn's done, we'll put the water inside because it should be easier to keep warm and from freezing. But obviously for the time being, we'll just put it right here. Put it here. It's gonna hurt. Be all right. $90 pounds on this, by the way, if you're wondering, if you're thinking that looks like a lot of pressure for a garden hose. It is. It's 90 pounds. Out here in the middle of nowhere, we're on city water. It's a 4-inch water main, 4-inch water main. The water tower is like 100-foot elevation from where we're at. 90 pounds at the meter. When I ran it into the house, obviously, I put a pressure reducer on it. It's at 50 pounds in the house, but prior to the pressure reducer, I teed off, and all the garden spigots are in front of that. So the garden spigots have 90 pounds and the house has 50. It's come in handy. And I don't know if you can tell, but they're not right on the bottom, right? They sit up a little bit. So if any dirt does get in there and settles, they're pulling from water up here. They're not pulling from down there. Old school, nice. It was, you know, an extra 10 seconds with this or walk 2 minutes to get the saws off. That was the choice. So we're just gonna take this, put it in there, but I'm gonna put a healthy helping of the silicone. You know, this isn't glued on here. I probably could have. All right, we're committed to this piece now, aren't we? Anyway, we're gonna silicone that on there. Actually, we're gonna latex plus silicone interior / exterior. When you don't know what you need, just put it all in one tube. Let's go ahead and place the rocks we've already got moved down here around the bottom. And then when we run out of those, we'll hop in the skid steer and get the rest of them from up there brought down here. Watch out, Bob! Bob, that's where I'm going. So when it's all said and done, we'll come in we'll do that same thing. We'll concrete between all the stones. The concrete isn't necessarily to keep things out as much as it is just lock the rocks together, because critters will come up and they'll try to roll these away. So we gotta kind of lock it together, get the concrete. You saw it when we took it out of the other section. It gets all mixed in with the wire and the fence and the rock, and it holds everything together very secure. We've got all the big stuff placed and it'll do the job just fine for now. Then we got a bunch of little ones. These are the ones whenever we're concreting everything in, we can kind of take these in and, you know, fill in some spots and level things up as we need. I think this looks pretty good. I think it looks great. We are gonna spread the rest of this later, but I figure the girls ought to do it whenever they get home. You don't really have to spread it, you just break it up. The chickens will scratch it apart, but this is what we use. This compressed straw, compressed bale. And I know what you're thinking, that's a little bit more expensive than a regular bale, isn't it? It is. It is. Right now where we're at, a bale of straw is about $5. Some places $6. This is $12.50 a bale. Two things. It lasts longer. I would say this lasts good. I mean, like this stays dry like that, probably 3 times as long as what a regular bale of straw does. And the other thing, it's just so much easier to store. I would say that's equivalent about a bale and a half if it was uncompressed, but it's also just really, really easy for us to store. There will be a little loft right up in there when this is all said and done. We'll be able to keep 4 or 5 or 6 of those things up there and have plenty on hand for whenever we need it. Oh, look at that. Got some eggs we gotta get out of here. It works really well for us anyway. And in the long term, it's probably cheaper than regular straw bales for us. Because like I said, it lasts about 3 times as long. So 3 straw bales at $5 a piece, or, you know, that for $12.50. I don't know. It's just more convenient, lasts longer, all those good things. Anyway, skid steer's here because we're taking 1, 2, 3 trees out, hopefully not onto the barn. Let's go ahead and take this maple down, huh? The hole we're aiming for all these trees is this hickory, to the right of that hickory, obviously, and to the left of that maple, right down that hole, right where the burn barrel's at. It's got a little that way. Our other little lower garden is right there, and then the herb garden is right through there. That's why we're going that way. And if you're wondering why I don't move the burn barrel, mainly because, well, it's on fire. I hear you. I wouldn't say it went perfect, but it's where I wanted it. The hinge ended up being super thick. I needed a wedge from this side to lift it, to take it from that lean and kind of flop it over. It was leaning that way, flop it over that way. And I was watching the top, and the top started to go, but the top wanted to go that way, and I needed it to go that way. So either stay in the cut and it keeps going the wrong direction, or try to lift it from this side. I don't know. I'm just an amateur homeowner doing his best. It was really close to that term that everybody uses because they watched one episode of Axemen 10 years ago. But I was paying attention, and plenty of escape here, so no worries there. Good enough for a homeowner job. That'll work. This one has to go too, but that'll be on Sunday's video. So will the cleanup and all the other stuff. So if you want to see how that all turns out, make sure you subscribe and you stay tuned. Okay, that's the outro. But I almost forgot. Thanks for watching. Okay, now that's the outro. Oh God. we get to let people make the comments that I know they're gonna make, but then the loyal subscribers that watch after the credits, you guys, you get to see some of the stuff. Let's go look at the burn barrel and the herb garden. Honestly, considering the space, there's that garden, there's the barn. I'm not too mad about it. We raked this maple here. We kind of raked all the limbs off that, but this hickory looks good. That maple looks good. Let's check this out. Oh, there's the burn barrel. Dang, we almost fit the whole thing in there. Doug's already trying to burn that top. Well, we almost got it in there. And let's take a look. So here's the herb garden over here. Miss. Not bad. Not bad. We squeezed her in there. I'm not upset about that. And this maple on this side is okay still. We'll play that by ear. That one doesn't have to come down. We'll try and leave it, see what it does, see if it comes back. It should be okay. Not too bad though. Not too bad for an amateur homeowner. There's some smoke working up through there. I wouldn't even be mad if it burned up through there. And anyway, like I said, I really do truly appreciate you guys watching and supporting the channel. And we'll catch you on the next video, and maybe there'll be some bonus footage there too. All right, let's get out of here.